6-0. Item number 5. Participation policy VED, education from administration. We'll start with item 6A, which is the 2022-2023 Bus Driver of the Year Award. This is written down on our packet on page 3, presented by Mr. Vedder.
Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Bettis. Mr. Chase Carlisle from Carlisle Insurance is here, and he's gonna do a little presentation for us this evening.
Good evening. School board members, administrators, and guests. On behalf of Carlisle Insurance and PCAT, I want to thank you for the opportunity to honor one of your employees this evening. Each day, school bus drivers are entrusted with safely transporting our children to and from school. No matter the weather conditions or the traffic, their performance on the road must always be A+. Carlisle and PCAT also recognize that school bus drivers help set the tone for children's daily experiences. You can say that they are our school's ambassadors. Typically, the bus driver, is the first school person who children see in the morning and the last they see in the afternoon. And just as is said about great teachers, Carlisle and PCAT believes the same holds true for the best bus drivers. It's not a job, it's a call. This year, following a selection process by the district, one exceptional driver was chosen to be the district's PCAT Bus Driver of the Year. On behalf of Carlisle PCAT, it is my honor to present Deanna Luna with the 2022-2023 PCAT Bus Driver of the Year Award, along with a 20-ounce Yeti tumbler and a tote, both embossed with Bus Driver of the Year. Please help me congratulate Ms. Luna. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Carlisle and Mr. Vedder. We move now to item 6B, which is recognition of the 2023 Spring Chess Tournament winners. It's going to be found on page 4 of our packet. Dr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Kufal, Dr. Petters, members of the board. On Saturday, April the 22nd, KISD held their 2023 Spring Chess Tournament from second grade all the way through high school. They competed in divisions beginners, intermediate, and advanced. After 7 rounds of competition, we crowned winners in each of the divisions, and they received tournament ribbons and the winners' trophies. We would like to thank all parents, administrators, and teachers and paraprofessional staff to make this event a huge success. As your name is called, please go on up to the front and shake Dr. Pett's hand. Second grade, beginner Division 1, Jeremy Gonzalez from Harrell. Third grade, beginner Division 1, Casey Lovelady from Harvey. Third grade, beginner Division 2. There was a 3-way tie. Mikael Carmona from Harrell, Isaiah Coretta from Harvey, and Catherine Garcia from Pettis. Fourth grade, beginner Division 1, Daniel Pena from Harvey. Fourth grade, beginner Division 2, Catalina Overa from Pettis. Fourth grade, intermediate advanced division, Edward Avalar from Harvey. Fifth grade, intermediate advanced, Lucas Mullins from Pettis. And secondary, I don't see the winners here, so I'll just announce them. Eviana Perales, Connor Perkins, Damian Sunderland, Dakari Mazzone, and Adam Rissini were from Gillette and HMK. And our sponsors, Yesenia Nieto from Harrell. From Harvey. And I'm here are Carlos Merino, Godfrey Sissoko, and Angela Villarreal.
Let me get closer.
Thank you, Dr. Betts. Our next item, 6C, is a recognition of H.M. King High School DECA. This can be found on page 5 of our pack. Mr. Menace.
Good evening, Board President Brian Coolball, members of the board, and Dr. Bettis. I'm Martha Ramirez. I oversee the CTE program, which stands for Career Technical Education. I will be announcing recognitions for students who made it to state competitions and industry-based certification. I'd like to begin with the state competition. The recognition of H.M. King High School DECA. The following students qualified for state competition in community awareness project through the DECA organization: Terrell Jackson and Seth Magadino. The following students qualified for state competition in career development project through the DECA organization: Leah Rosas and Bianca Michelle. Our DECA sponsors are Diana Carrillo and Leticia Longoria. Recognition of H.M. King High School, Texas Association of Future Educators, TAFE. The following students qualified for state competition to the Texas Association of Future Educators Club: Sophia Cariaga and Michaela Briones, and their sponsor is Grace Sabella. Recognition of H.M. King High School Skills USA Competition Engineering.
I'm the sponsor for Skills USA Engineering, Christina Gonzalez. Okay. First place at district was Daniela O'Grady and Jason Esquivel, and they placed 4th at state. For mobile robotics technology. 2nd place at district was David Hamilton and Zachary Hamilton, and they placed 8 at state for mobile robotics. First place at district, Alberto Benavides and Alberto Perez. They placed 6 at state for robotics urban search and rescue. The following students received a blue ribbon for their engineering exhibit at district and at state: Michael Ayers and Oscar Cecina. The following students placed 1st and 2nd for the technical math related exam at Skills USA District 12 competition. 1st place, Zachary Hamilton. 2nd place, Marina Mills.
Recognition of HM King Skills USA Automotive Technology. Our sponsor wasn't able to be here. I will call out the names. Jace Jensen, Sebastian Ledesma, Juan Mireles, Jasmine Stewart, and John Vargas. At this time, I'd like to recognize our students that receive industry-based certifications. I'd like to begin though by saying that TA discovered that there were many in districts that were finding loopholes and not following the intent of certification. So they closed those gaps and made it much more difficult for us to receive certifications for this year. But thanks to our teachers and the hard work that they've done, our students, as of today, have 98 industry-based certifications. And there's more to come before the year is over, and we will surpass the number from last year of 100.
Yeah.
Recognition of HM King High School Students, American Welding Society.
Hello, my name is Leo Howdy. I'm the ag teacher and also the welding instructor at HM King High School. Here before us, we have the AWS D9.1, the sheet metal welding. It provides specification and requirements for welding procedures. It's an entry-level qualification to weld sheet metal from 3/16 to 3/8 thickness. My list is as follows: Aiden Tejina, Paul Sell, Jason Figueroa, Julia Perez, Jose Favela, Noe Everett, Rolando Garcia, Justin De Leon, Guadalupe Cervantes, Luis Perez, Noah Resendez, and Juan Mireles.
Before we begin the recognitions for our EKG technician students and our phlebotomy students, I want to say that every single student that took the EKG and the phlebotomy certification, we had 100% pass their test.
Yeah. All right.
My name is Minerva Gonzalez. I'm one of the health science instructors. This is the first year that we have partnered with Del Mar, and this was just an exceptional group that we had of students. To get certified for the EKG, they have to give 5 live EKG performances on each other. And we did that in the fall. In the spring, in order to qualify for the national exam, they had to have 5 capillary punctures and 2 punctures, successful vena punctures per student, so that they can meet the requirements needed to take the national exam. And they did an outstanding job. So,
Hi, my name is Shanti McCoy. I'm the other health science teacher at HM King. I'm going to call out the names of all the students that received their EKG certification. We have Lauren Banda, Shakira Cantu, Sayen Castro, Zachary Galvan, Maria Goff, Jaslyn Gomez, Star Gomez, Alex Gonzalez, Tatiana Fajardo, Jada Gutierrez, Destiny Hernandez, Caitlin Lopez, Priscilla Lopez, Desiree Mireles, Ileana Mireles, Valerie Sanchez, Justice Shelton, Olympia Statopoulos, Janisa Trevino, Carolyn Ramos, Yasmin Rios, Anna Rishavi, and Cameron Walker.
and those that received the phlebotomy recognition are Lauren Banda, Shakira Cantu, Cyan Gasparo, Maria Goff, Jasmine Gomez, Alex Gonzalez, Tatiana Guajardo, Jada Gutierrez, Destiny Hernandez, Jolene Loera, Caitlin Lopez, Priscilla Lopez, Desiree Mireles, Ileana Mireles, Olympia Statopoulos, Janissa Trevino, Sarah Trevino, Caroline Ramos, Yasmin Rios, and Cameron Walker.
Me too.
Tomorrow, we're gonna have our first Bill marketing ceremony for our health science teachers, so students, we're very excited. Now I'd like to recognize our HM King High School Education and Training Program of Study.
Hello, I'm Grace Sabetta, the teacher for the Education and Training Program of Study. Together in our partnership with Bettis Elementary, we were able to get 3 certifications for Educational Aid 1. The first one is Vivian Ruiz. Alexander Garcia. And then Jacelyn Vialla.
With this educator aid certification, when they graduate from high school, they're ready to be teacher aides in the classroom without having to get any college hours. So that's a very big accomplishment. Next is the recognition of H.M. King High School Education Audio Visual Class. Our instructor is Mr. Ovidio Barber. He is with some of his students. They are filming the Jazz and Mariachi Fest concert as part of their final exam for the students. And our other instructor, Corey Cardenas, supposed to be here, but she's ill, so I will read the names. Christina Cavazos. Elena Chavez. Faith Chavez, Alice Martinez, Kendall Salinas, Taryn Mosqueda, Carla Aguilar, Matthew Nicholas, Flo Herrera, Amber Silva, and Daniel Macarena. With that certification, the Adobe certification in audiovisual, they can actually go and work in Hollywood, in the studios, or a radio, TV station. So it's a very big certification. Our last recognition of H.M. King High School Education students who earn certifications in Microsoft Office, Excel, and PowerPoint.
Good evening. My name is Leticia Longoria, and I'm one of the business teachers, and with me is Mrs. Diana Gabriel, who's also one of the business teachers. And I will start reading off the names because we have several. So these students that I'm naming are students that received Word certification: Nicholas Ovalle, Jade Baiz, Adriana Ibarra, Sergio Ramirez, Alicia Luna, Morgan Guerra, Mary Sorrells, Hilton Prock, Ann Cusick, Alberto Perez, Mallory Lopez, Belen Rios, Carolina Fernandez, and Cesar Urbina, Joseph Gonzalez, Micaela Boyd, Blake Barber, Bonnie Lopez, Adriana Rojas, Sofia Rivera, Odette Alvarez, Terrell Jackson, William Selby, Caitlin Galvan, Sofia Rivera, Evelyn Sosa, Ezekiel Ibanez, Isaac Wendell, Damson Romero, Isaiah Brenneman, and we have also Kendra Morales. Damson Romero, step forward, and Isaiah Brenneman. They've not only received their Word certification, they also received their Excel certification and PowerPoint certification. Ezekiel Ibanez. He received both Word and PowerPoint. These are great skills that they're going to be able to benefit from in their future. Thank you.
I'd like to end by thanking our teachers and our students for meeting the expectations and going above and beyond this year. They've done an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bettis. We move now to item 6M, which is the recognition of H.M. King High School Brainerd Golf Team. This can be found on page 15 of our packet. Mr. Garcia.
Good evening. I'd just like to start off by saying it's wonderful and amazing to see all of these students in our district get recognized for all their accomplishments. I would venture to say that, you know, it takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice by their family and by them. So it's awesome to see that support system. And also, you know, Brainerd Kingdom is something that we're excited to be part of, excited that everyone's part of, and it's just great to see all their accomplishments that they're achieving and being recognized for. So now we're going to recognize some of our student athletes that advanced to the postseason. We'll start off with our Brainerd golf team and Coach Vilches. He'll come up here and he'll speak on the golf team.
Okay, I'll go ahead and introduce. Okay, Noah Ascendis, he's a junior this year. He's been playing for me, well, he's been on the golf team for the last 3 years. We have Joseph Vilches, he's a freshman this year. Next to him is Trey Everett, he's a senior, he's my only graduating senior this year. And he's been with me since his freshman year. We have Sergio Ramirez, he's also a sophomore. Dylan Everett is not here right now. I'm hoping he can make it. He's the only one that made it to the state tournament this year, but he's out there practicing right now. So, you know, that tells you a lot about him. So, as far as the year, our season, we had 5 team tournaments. We placed in all 5 of them. We had 2 first place trophies. We had 2 second place trophies. We also had a 5th place trophy. At district, we ended up we placed second. I'm a little nervous, I wasn't expecting to come up here and speak. But we did place second at district. We advanced to regionals for the 3rd year in a row. We placed 5th at district, and again, we have one player that's qualifying for state, which is this next Monday, Tuesday in Kingsland. So.
So next we'll have a recognition of our H.M. King High School girls Primo basketball team and Coach Paul Yuma.
Start off by introducing the girls basketball team this year. Some of them are not here. Varsity roster was Brianna Ramos, Isabella Davila, she was registered up as well. Alexa Guajardo, Danaya Hedges, Mallory Lopez, who was 31-4A second team all district. Ariana Medrado, 31-4A second team all district. Isabella Medrado, newcomer of the year, Sorry, Mr. Wayne, earlier. Jason, Maria's not here today, and Herman Cueto Boyd, the two seniors, they got chosen for that all-star game, so they're at practice. But Jason Varial is one of our seniors. She was 31-4A first team. Of course, she got selected to the all-star game, and she recently committed to sign with Dallas College, Cedar Valley College. And then Michaela Boyd is our other senior. She was also 31-4A first team, and she also got selected to the all-star game. Coastal Bend College, Coastal Bend Coaches Association to be this Saturday in Corpus. They do basketball games in the morning and volleyball, then they do football at night. And she also recently signed with McPherson College. And then you have Lorena Garza, 31-4A offensive MVP, first team All South Texas, and she also joined the 1,000 point club this year. We had a great season, finished up 25-8. We believe it's the best record ever in girls basketball.
Way to go.
So.
Next, we'll have recognition of the H.M. King High School Prima cross country team and Coach Esquivel.
I believe I had one winner every year. There's a band function this afternoon, so a lot of the kids are actually attending that function, but we had a great season this year. We actually qualified a whole team for the regional. The regional meet is the first time that that's ever happened since I've been here. In the last 7 or 8 years that I've been here as a coach. And let me tell you a story about the district meet. We were at the meet and I was watching my runners run. And the meet organizer, the TM coaches, they came up to me, they handed me a sheet of paper. And I thought it was like a check or a bill or something for the meet or whatever. And they said, look at that, coach, you all got 3rd place as a team. And he kind of looked at me like shocked, like this isn't supposed to happen. There's a district with Cow Island and Robstown and all the big schools. And he was shocked. And I said to myself, I'm not shocked because these guys put in all the work. They put in so much work, and they've assured me that next year we're going to win district and we're going to go to state. Our runners are Jacob Mendieta. Remind me if I forgot something. I have my phone. I have my phone back there. Jacob Mendieta, Julian Mendez, Emilio Lara, Nicholas Lopez. What am I missing? Robert Nervino. Julian Mendez. Did I say that already? The little Jacob Rivera, and I believe that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Up next, we'll have recognition of the H.M. King High School Prima track team. And I believe Coach Flowers and Coach Harris, Coach Gutierrez and Coach Regal are all here. And those on their behalf.
You good? So how you feeling? Okay. I came in a little late into the season. And I bring a certain kind of energy, and I was excited that the kids were able to match some of that energy that I have. And obviously with the success of the cross-country team, some of that was able to move over to track. So we had some of the same kids that did well, got some regionals in cross-country, were able to make it to area in track. So I just wanted to give a good shout out to Miss Laura Bush, who was made it to area in the 800. Kayla Garcia Trevino made it in the 800 as well. Amelia Lotta made it in the 3200. Jacob Rivera made it in 3200. And Jacob Mendieta made it in the 800. So those are our area finalists. And then we have the guy in the middle right now, special season for him. Hardworking kid in area. He ended up getting third in the long jump. He won the 110 hurdles. He also won the 200-meter dash, which is big for us during the football season. And then from there, we had a couple of decisions to make as far as regionals. What should he do? How his legs are going to hold up? So we just decided to go with one event for him instead of the three, which now I look back at it, you know, I'd be a little greedy, a little selfish. Maybe you should have done all three, but whatever. So he ended up winning the regional 110 hurdles. So you remember that in the state. And at the state track meet, we had a plan, we put it in place. He ran well, he broke the school record, which he had already broken previous. We was in the state, he was, there was 7 seniors up there, so I expect him to be on the podium next year, so we'll continue that momentum in the football season and the next track season. Thank you guys for helping, folks, you know, the incredible bus drivers. Thank you guys.
And then updates, we have recognition of H.M. King High School girls powerlifting. We have Coach Salinas present, Coach Amaya's present, and then Coach Herman Rios is present.
Okay, very briefly, these young ladies out here stand out. We got freshman Kaylee Vitro out of the blue, pulled it out. The last couple of weeks went to regional. She pulled a 11th place finish. Michaela Carrasco, co-captain, same thing. It looked bleak at the beginning of the season, but she fought through there, got in, pulled the 12th place. 4A in powerlifting is the biggest in the whole state of Texas. 4A is as big as 1, 2, and 3A classifications combined. So it's a dog war just to get to regional. And then if you make it to the state, that's a blessing. Last person I'm going to introduce, Jasmine Papi Gomez, the only 5th year powerlifter in the history of Kings ISD, started as an 8th grader, injured herself, and we love her to death. She gave it her best last year, 5 pounds away from getting state, but her body had maxed out. I believe in our Lord, he took care of her. She had an injury, her spine fused. The second week of February, she came through and hit a total to get to regional, pulled out a 3rd place at regional, made it to state when there was no way on paper she should have been there, but she made it. We didn't have the success we wanted after bench. But because of her hard work, the state did recognize her, did leave her placing, and she still finished because of her squat of 360 pounds, still got a ranking at the state meet, even though she didn't. I am honored to have the best coaches in the world, Heidi Amaya, Steven Salinas. They're not coaches, they're my siblings. We have a hell of a parsing family. Right now, we've got kids that are working every day. We're gonna be back at the state level.
Real quick, Dylan Everett. Just showed up back in practice, so I just like to recognize him because he qualified for state.
Yes.
Golf tournament.
I'd also like to add that, Dylan's work ethic, and everything that he does, he gives it 100%. He comes out to practice after being at a different practice. He played soccer as well, and so he's played multiple sports. He's ready for state, and at the regional tournament after the first day, he came and asked me, Coach, what do you think I have to shoot tomorrow to make it a state? I told him, at least at the worst a 73. Well, he comes in and shoots a 72. The next day. So he's doing a really good job. He's gonna be a great leader in the years to come. He's just a fantastic kid. He's also made first team all district, and he also made the all academic team, as well as all 5 of the boys either made first team or second team, and they all made all academic as well. So congratulations.
I just want to thank the coaches for all their hard work and sacrifice. I know it's a lot of hours that they put in with the student athletes, and just thankful again for the parents and support system they have in our administration, principals, all the support we get from Dr. Pettis and everyone, because it really does take a village with these kids, and they're reaping the benefits from it. And we're excited about the future, so thank you.
Thank you, Coach. We move now to item number 6R. Budget recap report, check register for April 2023. It's going to be found on page 20 through 27 of our packet. Dr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Kufal. I would like to point your attention to M&A technology at the top of the page. This was for 1,500 Chromebooks. These were needed for STAR. Even though we had received the Chromebooks in January, they just built them for us now. So this, we don't expect to have to replace 1,500 every year. I've been visiting with technology. We're thinking probably 300 or 400 is what we'll have to replace every year due to either terming out as far as their life expectancy or for repairs. This also was the first year that our students were taking the STAR test online, so need was for those Chromebooks there. I'll take any questions you have on the rest of the check register.
Any questions on the check register? If not, well, thank you, Dr. Pitts. We move on to item number 7, which is new business. Item 7A is discussion and possible action regarding the interlocal agreement between Kingsville Independent School District and Communities in School. That's going to be found on page 28 to 44 of our packet. Dr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Gufall. We have partnership with communities and schools for about 26 years, at least as far as we were able to count looking back. Gloria Taylor is here to talk a little bit about the program.
Good evening, President Gufall, Board of Trustees, Dr. Pettis, leadership, and the rest of everyone that stood around. What a wonderful night of celebration. Oh my gosh, I love to hear all of the kids' successes. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our staff that work at your schools that work so hard year round. They are here and I did not bring any certificates. I am sorry, ladies. But with us, we have Christine Mercado, please stand. We have Jessica Gomez, Rita Varela, Magda Reyna, and Vicky Scott. And also, my no, there is no crime, that is Crystal Creek Development, Director of Development. Is there a power, no? I'm so sorry. I'm going to provide a small little snapshot of this year, answer some questions if you have any, and I think that would be great. So we are in 4 of your schools, Gillette, Carroll, Harvey, and H.M. King High School. But we are so excited to report that we will be also serving Pettis Elementary next year. So we will be in all of your schools. So I submitted our model just so that way you can have a better understanding of our model and how we perform our duties in the schools. I'm not going to go through it in detail because I know you received this in your packet, and so you can possibly ask me any questions about it at a later time during this presentation. I did want to go over what our staff have been able to accomplish this year. As you can see on page 4 of your slides, we have a total of 261 case files, meaning that 261 of your students are receiving those intentional, direct, intensive case managed services. Those are the ones that are deemed at risk and really need our support. But we do serve every student in your school at in each school at one capacity or another. Within those 261, you can see that 128 of those students were targeted for academics, 257 for behavior, 120 for attendance, and 92 for social services. Now, we can have one student have multiple areas that we are working with. So when we break that down, you see that Gillette had 66, Carroll 61, Harvey 67, and H.M. King High 67. And then on the adjacent 4 columns, you can see the number of services at each component that was delivered for each school. So as you can see for Gillette, Ms. Gomez provided 1,101 services in behavior. And then it trickles down to everything else, 559 for behavior at Harvey, and these were services. And services are classified different things. They may have talked one-on-one, they may have been in a group setting, they may have been doing presentations, so they may have gone to the home because of behavior issue and talked to parents. Sorry, you're so wonderful to do that for me because I can't. All right. Part of our program is our commitment to providing mental health initiatives. So we have 2 initiatives that we provide, and one is for the elementary level, and it's called Gizmo, Possum Guide to Mental Health. And it is a book about a therapy dog who visits people in schools and other places to comfort and teach them what to do when they are feeling sad, mad, and worried. So we provided those at Harrell, and every 331 students attended that initiative, and at Harvey, 528. In the middle and high school, we do what we call signs of suicide. And that speared from an initiative that actually Dr. Pettis spearheaded years ago when we had some unkindly passing of students in the Fort Smith area. And she called it for action and got Representative Todd Hunter involved. And he formed a coalition, and I was invited to attend, or I invited myself probably, but we had a commitment to Representative Todd Hunter that we, communities and schools, would provide mental health services in each of the schools that we serve. And we are happy to say that at the middle school, 436 students were provided that signs of suicide presentation, and 726 of your high school students were provided that. Moving on. We do Stop the Bus. So last year, you remember that we traveled, we are at the mercy of HEB and which HEBs they decide for us to go to. Last year, it was Alcorias, and I am happy to report that this year, because we took our representative from HEB to Water Street, we're going to have Stop the Bus here in Gainesville. So we're very excited. I'm not sure if the luncheon had anything to do with it, but we still ate well. And so we are going to be able to stop the bus here in Kingsville the first Saturday in August. So we'll be able to stuff our closets with school supplies. And Brittany Scott is our pantry manager, and she also assists us with home visits at the high school. And we wanted to give you a snapshot of how the food pantry has really helped our families here. This year, CIS has put in $5,111 into the pantry. And as you can see, we have a steady group of families that are taking advantage of this. And we're hoping to grow this next year. You can see the breakdown, how many individuals in each family were served, and she's opened and the hours are posted. But Ms. Creek has formed a relationship with Driscoll's Health Plan, and we met with them today, and they are selecting our Kingsville pantry and our pantry in Corpus. And they're going to supplement our pantries with additional hygiene products and giving us about $5,000 to buy those products, things that the food banks sometimes don't have regularly in stock. So we're super excited about that. And the other thing, they're going to be able to provide one quarterly meeting, 4 times a quarterly meeting for parents. So I know Dr. Sandoval and Max are going to be so excited about this, because we can actually have our parent meeting at the pantry where they can be exposed to the pantry, but also getting the parent trainings. So we are super excited about it. I knew that would bring a smile to your face, sir. So we are very excited about that. And Child Free, through the partnership with Kingsville Education Foundation, we were able to take 4 kids from each school. And this year, we're now including Pettis, and the Kingsville Education Foundation Board has invited us to again request a match. So we will pay for 2, they will pay for 2, and we'll be able to take kids shopping. And we invite you all. I think some of you were able to go last year, and it is quite a touching moment to go shopping with a student. As you can see there, that picture, you would think that I was really invested in buying some socks with that child or a shirt, but no, we were trying to find the perfect donut, because we also provide breakfast for these students. And I was thinking back, oh, thank you, sir, you're gonna enlarge that, aren't you? I was like, oh, that's a great picture. I said, what are we doing? You're looking for socks or shoes? She goes, no, Miss Taylor, you and this student was looking for the perfect donut. And I said, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Also, for the holidays, we provide food baskets. And so again, our Living Legends, we are going to be providing that again for each of our campuses, and Christmas trees for this coming Christmas season. So through other funds, we were able to provide utility support for families here in KISD, and I'm excited to also unveil that this year each campus got $500 for attendance incentive. So they were charged with meeting with their principal and their impact team and creating what is going to make these kids at each school want to attend. So there was they bought some earbuds. Thank you. Earbuds, a Roku TV. There were some great prizes, and they're still going on now. And that totaled up to $2,111. And that is apart from their budget. They get a $3,000 budget a year to spend per school on items that each school needs, and it differs per school. So our Living Legends Committee works really, really hard fundraising. And so that's how we get the funds to do this. And the last thing, we just added a couple of testimonials, and all of the pictures you see here are your KISD students. And before I close or entertain some questions, I want to tell you that we are partnering with the Douglas Center this summer. For 4 weeks, we are providing a summer reading program for 30 students. They're going to be signing up very soon, and it's first come, first serve. We have bought already 30 reading tablets to give out to the students. We have hired a certified teacher, and we are going to be partnering with the Housing Authority to provide lunch to those children that live in the Housing Authority, so we know that some of those food insecurities will be taken care of this summer. That concludes my snapshot report, and I would be happy to answer any questions any board member has.
Ms. Taylor, also, I want to thank you for offering to help with scholarships for the Friday afternoons, the Bright Blue Fridays for next year's innovative calendar. You were the first to step up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis. It's our pleasure.
Well, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
On academic intervention services and behavior services.
Yes, sir.
See the numbers. Can you give us like a hypothetical of each, like for attendance, what would that look like?
Sure, sir. So I'm going to ask the expert to come up because I deal more with funding boards, funders. But Krista Creek is our director of programs, and she will tell you exactly what each of those components entail.
Good evening. So academics, it could be one-on-one, just coming in, working with the student on some work that they have to be done, monitoring with them, homework checks.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean attendance intervention.
Oh, attendance.
Yes.
Attendance is probably phone calls, home visits, speaking with the student when they come to school, like what's going on, why were you not coming, what do you need? Do you need clothes, do you need shoes, they do attendance announcements, different things like that with the students, maybe like a lot of phone calls, I would say mostly, but more just one-on-one, speaking to the students about what's going on and how can we help them get to school.
They've done a lot of incentives like popcorn celebrations and all these types of celebrations. I know I've been seeing them.
Yes.
Posted.
Yes.
Also, during testing, STAR testing, if we were missing, and Mr. Torres is right over there saying yes. We're missing maybe 90 kids at the beginning. CIS was out there knocking on doors and getting students, and it cut that down to like 27 or something like that. Immediately. So they go above and beyond in what we need, and intervening with the kids and helping them with tutoring and one-on-one.
Talking to parents, working with that. The contest, at the end, like she said, the incentives. Some of them did 6 weeks, and some of them, maybe week. Little things to big incentives.
Behavior, with behavior, that really encompasses a lot. It's not just behavior as in disciplinary assignments. It has self-esteem, social skills, family conflict. So it's just a little bit of everything. So all of that in our TEA, it's all considered under behavior. So we work with the students, a lot of supportive guidance, helping them, being there for them to talk to, maybe involving them in some groups of the same students who have things going on, and we work with them. But I would say our behavior is a lot of one-on-one. That is when they just need someone to talk to or help them work through some things.
Thank you.
Sure, question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are these students serviced during the day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So like y'all have a schedule or it's on an as-needed basis, or where do you pull them from?
It's kind of more of an as-needed basis. I would say elementary, we go to them a little bit more. Middle and high school, with them changing classes, they can come to us. It is mostly not, we don't see them during core class time. It might be electives, it could be in between classes. It is lunchtime, before school, after school. They have to have a pass to be in our room. So typically what we talk to them at a staff meeting is once they have their work done, if they need it, unless they're in a crisis. But once they can get their work done, maybe the last few minutes of class, they can come visit with us if they're needed.
No, y'all use Brain Time also.
Uh-huh.
Brain Time, y'all use that too.
So how does that differ from actually counseling, like the counselor on campus?
It probably doesn't differ a lot, it's probably a little bit of the same. I think what's good is we all kind of have our own little areas that we work with. We know if a student comes in at a certain with an issue or something that we're working with, when we need to walk them to the counselor. Just a little bit about it, pretty much the same.
And the counselors can also refer him to CIS,
Yes.
because if the counselor sees, oh, the reason he's not coming or the reason he's failing is because he doesn't have clothing,
Right.
He hasn't been fed.
Right.
Those type, or doesn't have hygiene items. Social skills or
Yes.
social needs, I think that's what I see more of
as
CIS.
for musical.
But you all have been able to help also with mental health, suicide prevention. Y'all have gotten deeper
Yes.
into helping kids since the evolution of CIS, because I've worked with y'all
Yeah.
all my principalship.
I know, thank you so much. Yes, we've done a lot of training with the staff, helping them get equipped with the tools that they need to help the students in more ways. Sometimes we see more of the frequent flyers, the ones that have a little bit, just need a little bit more attention. We sometimes we tag, we work with the counselor, refer them back and forth for help.
So what's the process? That's part, because we have a truancy department within our district. Okay, for attendance.
Yes, sir.
So what's the process that CIS takes on with the truancy department, so that we're not duplicating, not so much duplicating, but just targeting the same people over and over again? We're trying to bring them in, but what is it that we're doing to try to eliminate the duplication that CIS is doing and in our own truancy program is doing?
I can't speak specifically on that, but I would really feel that in most cases we work together. We might have a relationship built with a student that, I think from what I've seen from reports and different things, they work pretty closely together. So I think if, hey, I know the student, what's going on? This is what's going on, or hey, I can't get a hold of them, maybe you can go. So I really think they tag team and talk about which students who are needed, and maybe I haven't been able to reach this parent or family, commute, and so they just talk about that. They just work very closely together so that we're not overloading the parents.
I can ask Christine to come up. She works at the high school. I know that in the fall, when the truant officer became more deliberate about his work, he was asking our staff to do all the phone calls and follow-ups and going back to do home visits. And I think where we become, the truant officer doesn't have those financial resources that sometimes he becomes aware of, or they become aware of, that this kid's not coming to school because they don't have the clothing, or this kid's not coming to school because there's no food in the house. And if basic needs are not being met, then we can see that the kid has no interest in learning or is unable to learn because he's worried that mom has to do 3 jobs. And I think that's the part where CIS brings to every district that we contract with, is that we bring those resources. So that way we can, when we help those 2 people, and then we helped teachers. There was a teacher here who needed our help. And we told them, you're welcome to that school, that pantry, as much as anybody else. So please come get some food. So we are there to help remove those barriers that the truant officer may run into, that the counselors may run into. And through the funds that we get from multiple foundations and our Living Legends committee, that all these funds stay in Kingsville. This is the only district that has a private committee that fundraises for community schools for your school, your district. And so all my other school districts, they don't have that. So we're very fortunate here. But let me have Christine come and talk about the partnership with the truant.
So we really don't have what's called a truant department. We have a truant officer. You know, so it's really just one person. And he has his attendance clerks, the one in each campus, but they're busy taking attendance that day, making calls, things like that. And then the truant officer also goes to court now that he's taking kids to court. So CIS has come in to fill those, okay, he comes back, he says these are things that he's seen and he needs help getting those kids. And this is what I see as more of a teamwork.
Yes, just having the ones that I've done multiple phone calls and home visits for. I give him a list of those ones, and he usually will do the paperwork to take them to court. And I'm not really sure what goes on after when people report, but that's how I help him out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Taylor,
Yes, sir.
we have a bit of a history.
Sir, it's been the best.
It has been, and you know, I'm a huge supporter.
Yes, sir.
But you also know I'm a money guy.
Of course, sir.
I went back and looked at last year's contract and this year's contract, and there's extremely modest increase, so I appreciate that. But my question is, what will it look like? You say we're taking on Pettis this next year. We're doing it with the existing staff, the CIS staff, or how, what is that gonna look like?
Sir, you're gonna be so excited to hear this. So we had a grant opportunity that we applied for with our CIS national office. And they are, it provided an opportunity for us to have a really reduced price for Pettis Elementary. And we pay a third and they pay. So the cost of Pettis is taken care of for the next 3 years, and it's not part of this contract.
That's not the first time y'all have done that, so thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. There is, I mean, the district is paying some for Pettis, but it's at a very, very reduced rate.
What was it last year?
This year's 133, last year was 129. So
And 133 is to pay salaries or?
Well, we do go up, if you, I don't know if you remember when we first expanded to Harvey, Dr. Pettis asked me for a reduced rate because she wanted that support, but also was working on building up the funds here at Kingsville ISD. So through those years, I've been trying to keep up to the regular rate. Our regular rate for a brand new school, brand new district is $35,000. And as you can see, we are still way under that for Kingsville. We've been the second longest partner here besides CCISD. So every year I go up 2 or 3%, and that's it. And so that's why there is a very moderate increase.
Ms. Taylor, one of the things that I'm so excited about your program is that you're always here to let us know what's going on, and you bring your staff. One thing that I had asked that anybody that we give money to, consultants, whatever, give us a report. And I don't think anybody has really come out here, so you have, and because of that, you know, I'm excited that you're part of our district, and thank you for bringing your staff to show up. Hey, I'm here. You know, I'm not going anywhere.
Thank
So,
you, sir.
thank you so much for doing that for us.
No, thank you. We appreciate it.
Any further questions? If not, you've heard the presentation and you've seen the recommendation by administration that we approve the interlocal agreement between the Kingsville Independent School District and Communities in School Coastal Bend. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Garcia, seconded by Mr. Chapa. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you to
Thank
all the
you.
case managers.
Thank
Thank you to the PIO. Thank you very much for everything.
All right, we move now to item 7B, discussion and possible action regarding amending the District of Innovation Plan. It's going to be found on page 45 to 55 of our packet. Dr. Sandoval.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper, Board President, Board Trustees, Dr. Bettis. I'm here today to present to you the revisions that are being proposed to the District of Innovation Plan that was passed back in March the 8th, I believe. There's one minor revision that's being proposed and another one that's adding the exemption to the actual plan itself. The first revision that we're proposing is on page 54, the District Innovation Amendment for May 2023. We are adding on the uniform start date, we are also adding and last day of instruction, because that wasn't included in our initial DOI. And after feedback from TA, we were asked to go ahead and include that as part of our DOI as well. So we've added that language and that verbiage. So we added that information that I just read, and also we, in the proposed part, we put the flexibility to start and end dates allow the district to determine locally and an annual basis of what best meets the needs of the district and the local community. So we want to make sure that that was included in our plan. The other thing that we are proposing to amend to the District of Innovation Plan, we met with the DOI committee on May the 3rd to consider adding the exemption of the School Health Advisory Council exemption, because we want, currently the state requires that the district establish a health advisory committee to ensure that local values are reflected in the district's health education instruction. We are not asking to exempt ourselves from having a SHAC. We just want to be able to have a little more flexibility in our use of how we implement SHAC. The state does require a certain amount of things as part of the SHAC committee. Some examples are the amount of times that you meet on a school during school year, who needs to be part of that committee in terms of the community representation, and who needs to be part of the leadership of the committee. So we want to just take it so that the district includes this as part of the exemption, so that we have a little more flexibility in the event that we don't get the necessary representation, or if we only meet 3 times a year, we still meet the requirements of having a SHAC, and in terms of what we need to do for a district to meet the requirements of having a SHAC committee, if that makes sense. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have regarding the process and any reasons why we may have decided to make that decision as a district.
Any questions?
You said you wanted to reduce, you wanted the ability to reduce if you wanted to the number of SHAC meetings that you have.
It would give us the opportunity, Mr. Cooper, in the event that we didn't have that 4th meeting or that 5th meeting, that we wouldn't be out of compliance in regards to TA.
Okay, so what is, could you put in there what the minimum is that you intend to have? That's the least that you would go down, because the way you just worded it, you could go all the way down to 1 meeting. As long as you met the requirements. I'm saying, what are the numbers to be met?
That's what we just established with the SHAC committee. So the committee would decide, okay, how many do we need to have? How many are we gonna have? Right now, the Dr. Hope is 4 times a year. 4, we've held 5 this year. We've held 5 this year. So we don't intend to go lower. However, if something like, if something happens, we don't want to be out of compliance. And that's what several districts have done. I know Driscoll, Ricardo, Sarita just recently added it to their DOI as well.
And that's what I was thinking about, but I mean, if we set it at 2, but I just didn't want it to be. I hate to put it this way, but the board can say, we don't need to meet this year.
Oh, no, that's not
So
allowed.
that's why I want to put in a minimum, so.
It can't continue to meet every requirement of SHAC, but we just don't want to be able to complain to the event that we don't meet that requirement specifically.
Any other questions? If not, board, you've heard the presentation and the recommendation that the District of Innovation Plan be amended as presented. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion made by Ms. Salinas. Seconded by Mr. Morales. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Item 7C, discussion and possible action regarding the resolution of the board regarding the City of Kingsville transportation pedestrian projects. This can be found on pages 56 to 57 of our packet. Mr. Donnelly.
Thank you, Mr. Kupal, Board President, members of the board, Dr. Pettis. Tonight, I'm going to introduce Mr. Rudy Mora. He's a city engineer, and we are involved with the city. And it is a citywide non-mass transportation plan, which includes points of interest pedestrian plan. So I'll let him share a few comments and then answer any questions, and then I will be back to read the resolution.
Good evening, board. Thank you for the introduction, Ms. Donovan. Thank you for placing this item on your regular agenda. And the engineering department is submitting for grants to TxDOT. They will involve sidewalks, pedestrian bridges, crosswalks, bike lanes, and other miscellaneous items for non-motorized transportation. This will create an inner loop in some areas of the city. For example, Harvey Elementary would be connected to Gillette Middle School, and then there would be a sidewalk heading west on Avenue B toward what used to be the Clayburg Elementary. And then we have another sidewalk heading south to the HEB, so that would create an inner loop in the city and would hopefully be utilized by a lot of the pedestrian students within the city. We are not requesting any funds, but just a board of resolution for your support. Thank you.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Moore or Mr. Davila? If not, you've heard the recommendation of the presentation regarding the Kingsville Independent School District adopting a resolution of the board regarding the City of Kingsville Transportation Pedestrian Project. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion made by Ms. Salinas. Seconded by Mr. Ruiz. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Moore, and thank you, Mr. Davila. All right, we move now to item 7D, which is discussion of possible action regarding the depository contract renewal for the 2023-2025 biennium. This can be found on page 58 and 59 of our packet. Dr. Woods.
Thank you, Mr. Kupal. The depository contract is the bank that is in charge of the district's banking needs. 2 years ago, we went out for bids to make sure we were getting the best value in the market. We are requesting a renewal, another 2-year renewal. That's standard in the industry. Usually every 8 years, EA recommends that you go out for bids. And then after that, if your needs are being met, you can do a 2-year renewal. And again, that's standard across other districts. Currently, Prosperity doesn't charge any fees to us. They also provide excellent customer service, and they've met our needs very well. I will take any questions that you have.
If there's not any questions, we've heard the presentation and the recommendation that we extend the depository contract bid for an additional 2 years. Is there a motion to that effect? So moved. Motion made by Mr. Ruiz,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Morales. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Dr. Pitts. Item E, discussion and possible action regarding E-rate 2023 technology projects, category 1 service, secondary internet access at HMK domes. This can be found on page 60 to 64 of our packet. Dr. Trevino.
Thank you, President Kubal, school board members, Dr. Bettis. What I was going to cover is our E-rate 2023 technology project for category 1 service at HMK domes. In February, March, we went out for bid under E-rate through our E-rate consultant. We received 4 proposals for service at the domes, fiber optic 1 gig. So what the administration recommends is that the board of trustees approves a 5-year contract award to Foremost Telecommunications for E-rate 2023 category 1 services. Just to go over the budgetary information, with E-rate tier 1, there is 90% covered by the FCC USAC. So the total annual cost for the district, or rather eligible cost out of the 11,940 is 10,746, which would leave us with a balance to cover annually for 1,194 to be paid by the district just for the next school year and beyond that. There is a one-time non-recurring cost of $16,000, and what that does is provide a diverse secondary path to the domes. Normally, the right of way for fiber optics for most vendors is in the front, maybe major thoroughfares and major streets. And this example here at the high school, the fiber optic will normally run in 14th Street in front. This is actually going to be behind the high school, straight to the domes. Normally, the minimum point of entry for most vendors is going to be your D-Mark, which in this case for the high school is the library. This will bring this brings the circuit directly to the domes. And the advantage there for us is the fact that the domes are the domes, right? They're the FEMA domes. They have, they're built, they're sturdy. They'll also, they have a generator. They have, extra power. So they, as you know, on this side of town, the power kind of fluctuates. And also this will primarily serve HMK outside of our normal circuit, which terminates here at the central office. And I think that benefits the high school. Since it's a early college area, we can dedicate bandwidth to that, to the students and to the whole campus, and also kind of balance the internet, especially with the online testing. There's so many things that we can benefit out of that, but primarily it's going to serve HMK. So what we're looking for is, of course, the E-rate, we need board approval. The process has already begun. Obviously, we cannot accept the reimbursements or any type of money from USAC until we get board approval. Are there any questions regarding the exhibit A that's in front of you?
Yes, sir. I have 2. Number 1, are we familiar with it or used Foremost?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was one of the criteria of approval. Was the relationship with the vendor.
Okay. And the second one is, I just love it speaking French because I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. This makes computers work in the dump.
Yes.
Right. Got it.
Right. And as I mentioned, it's the primary circuit for it'll be primary circuit for the high school, but I guess the unintended side effect could be that we could leverage it, especially in light of what happened a year ago with the tragedy involved, that we can actually leverage it to be our not secondary circuit, but something we can route ourselves out of in case things go down here. The whole district won't be affected, so it kind of lends itself to some redundancy, even though that's not the primary the primary reason to get the circuit, but however, that's something we can leverage.
Back of President Bowles' question. We were there last night for an event at the Domes, and I was trying to stay in touch with my employer through my cell phone and Wi-Fi. This will help that.
Yes, it could help that, because that could be any problem. I mean, you could rip on back here at the, central office or central admin, the different power. There's many factors that are in there, and you probably, working at the university, you probably see a lot of that tech out there yourself.
Well, like I said, there was a lot of people out there. I'm sure there were a lot of people who stayed in touch with the internet while they were there, but this will increase the bandwidth.
This will increase bandwidth and increase another pathway to the internet. And the fact that it's built out on a different pathway than the normal fiber down 14th Street, we can leverage the fact that it's a diverse path, and hopefully if there's not a cut upstream somewhere, will keep us up and running.
So there'll be equipment installed in the domes?
Yes, there's a network closet already there in Dome B, and they would go directly to that network closet there. And there would be they'll be installed their networking equipment from the vendor, and then we meet it up with our equipment.
So according to this, it indicates we're basically going to improve our bandwidth, improve our ability to access the internet in a more efficient manner, and it's only going to cost the district $1,194. Is that essentially what it is, because the others covered by the reimbursement?
Correct, that's correct.
Another question I had was that equipment has to stay cool all the time. Are we a bit as far as that's concerned there?
That building, yes, we're fortunate enough that room stays pretty cool. And the device, the equipment itself is nowadays, it used to be maybe 10 years ago with their big chassis.
Yeah.
But now it's just like one little small box, and so it's very low footprint, very low with respect to power and heat.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Are there any other questions?
If there's no other questions, you've heard the recommendation that we award the bid to Foremost. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion made by Mr. Blusing. Seconded by Ms. Salinas. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Dr. Trevino.
Thank you.
We move now to item 7F, discussion and possible action regarding purchases over $50,000. It's going to be found on page 65 to 66 of our packet. Dr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Coupon. We have one purchase over 50,000, Sing Educational Services LLC. They are closing in on 50,000 right now. So far, they have worked on designing the math curriculum at the high school and the middle school. He has done coaching of teachers, and he has done direct tutoring to students for TSI tests and for the Algebra 1 end of course test. In the summer, planning to work on curriculum writing for the next year. This will put him over 50,000. Looking at total, we no more than 78,000 for the whole year. I'll take any questions.
It's going over what we had projected because we started using it in the CARES program also to help ensure that those kids are gonna make sure that they hopefully pass their STAR. And then also at Gillette, we had a couple of absences of teachers long-term. And so he ended up bringing in the math students and catching them up and staying on top of it because we were at a loss. And that's, with each, one teacher has about 125 students if you're at a secondary. So there was 200 kids that could have been affected. So that's why it started coming over, but we needed it and we need it, especially for the summer as well. So.
And this is Dr. Singh? Okay.
Yeah.
What does he have to
He's getting close.
Yeah, we're getting close to 50,000, about 48.
Everybody else is hiring him.
All right, any further questions? If not, you've heard the recommendation for approval. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Morales. Seconded by Ms. Salinas. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Dr. Pitts. Item number 8, The board will now enter into closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074 to deliberate and consider the following. Item A, discussion regarding proposed non-renewal of Chapter 21 term contracts. Item B, discussion regarding current principal and administrative personnel vacancies. Item C, consider deliberate with legal counsel regarding legal and personnel matters. No action will be taken until we return to open session. We are entering closed session at 7:02 p.m. Turn to open session, take necessary action on matters which the board may discuss in open session and upon which action may be taken. We are returning to open session at 8:39 p.m. Item A. Discussion and possible action to propose the non-renewal of Chapter 21 employee.
Administration recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed non-renewal of Chapter 21 term contracts as discussed in closed session.
All right, board, you've heard the recommendation of administration. I make a motion that the board approve the proposed non-renewal of Chapter 31 employee as discussed in closed session. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Motion made by Mr. Kupal, seconded by Mr. Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries 6-0. Noted that Mr. Chapa abstained. Item B, discussion and possible action to authorize superintendent to offer principal contracts.
Administration recommends that the board approve superintendent to offer principal contract as discussed in closed session.
All right, board, you've heard the recommendation. I make a motion that we approve and authorize the superintendent to offer principal contracts as disclosed in closed session. Is there a second?
So second.
Second made by Mr. Glusing? Yeah. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries 7-0. There being no further business that needs to come before this board, I declare this board meeting adjourned at 8:41 p.m.